So, good afternoon everyone. I hope everybody is safe and sound and doing extremely well. Now, I'm my master teacher, Basavaraj. So, let me know if you're able to see me, if you're able to hear me. ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ನೀನು ನನ್ನ ನೋಡಕ್ಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ thumbs up in the chat if you're able to see me and hear me. So, let me just check if the stream has started. Awesome! Stream has started. Stream start ಆಗಿದೆ. So, welcome to Deeksha, Vedantu 9th and 10th, where we find solution, where we make sure. One ನಿಮಿಷ, there is a sound thing here. Okay. So, welcome to Deeksha, Vedantu 9th and 10th. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ದು complete board preparation ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. Also, we teach foundation level topics. What foundation level topics? You will know today. Because I will be doing the part 2. I will be doing the part 2 of the part 3 of the how do organisms reproduce. Part 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ we spoke about, generally we spoke about what is reproduction. We learned about asexual reproduction ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಲ್ತ್ವಿ ನಾವು. Part 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ asexual reproduction. Part 2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ we learned about sexual reproduction. Specifically in speaking of plant reproduction ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಲ್ತ್ವಿ. Part 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು part 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಕಲಿತೀವಿ? Part 3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು reproduction in humans, complete reproduction in humans, from basics in the little small basics in the most advanced topics such as spermatogenesis, oogenesis, complete cover ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇವತ್ತು. So you know spermatogenesis and oogenesis is important for your class 11th and 12th. But ಈಗಿಂದಾನೆ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ a small idea ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, a small hint, a small knowledge ಈಗಿಂದಾನೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. That is why we call this channel also for foundation purpose. So on this channel, not only your 10th and 9th board preparation, also nimdu complete agi foundation level preparation agate channel alli. So before I start the session, I want all of you to go to the Deeksha Vedantu classes, that is 9th and 10th Telegram channel. Join agi ellaru. Ee Telegram channel alli navu ellaru ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ notes, every single note na ಈಗ class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಲ್ಲ, all the notes, assignments, questions, so many different question papers, so many sample papers, PYQs, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಈ ಚಾನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಗೋ ಆನ್, ಜಾಯಿನ್ ದ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಚಾನಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಮ್ಯಾರಥಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಮ್ಯಾರಥಾನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದಲ್ಲ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ವಿತ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ವಿತ್ NCERT ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಚಾನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಗೋ ಆನ್, ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಯೋರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ that telegram channel agi namdu, again gentle reminder everyone, if you do not want to miss ee channel, you know ee channel ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು videos ನೋಡಿ, live ನೋಡಿ, every single day at least so much of videos goes. So every single day there are 3-4 teachers who are teaching you every single day there is academic sessions going on. So if you do not want to miss any of the sessions, if you do not want to miss any of the content, if you do not want to miss any of the knowledge, any knowledge miss ಮಾಡಬೇಡಂದ್ರೆ I want all of you to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button right now because it's going to be useful to you. It's going to be useful for us, honestly. So, with that being said, let's start. Let's not waste any time. One nimsha waste madad bada. Let's start with sexual reproduction. So, before we understand human reproduction, let me give you a quick recap. One quick recap ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. What is sexual reproduction? What do you mean by sexual reproduction? So, we know reproduction is a biological process. Reproduction is a biological process in which an organism give rise to a young one. Artha, it is a biological process. Ondu humans alla agutte, organisms, living organisms alla agutte process idu, in which a organism give birth, magu kodutte, which is similar to itself or identical to itself. Same ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, complete 100% ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ 90% ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, 50% ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ 100% ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್, ಬಯೋಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್? ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟು ನೋಟ್. ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಇನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ two parents. In sexual reproduction there is involvement of two parents. That is parent, male parent, female parent. Involvement of two parents in the case of sexual reproduction. Second point again. What is second point? Second point is there is fusion. There is fusion of gametes. Gametes fusion agade. That is male gamete, female gamete. The fusion of gametes takes place. Here in case of sexual reproduction ali fusion of gametes agate. Third point ಏನು? Third point andre the offspring. The offspring andre ಏನು? The child, ಮಗು ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. The offspring or child. The offspring or child is genetically ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿಕಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ಇಂದ, ಜೆನೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಜೀನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೋಡು, ಆ ಜೀನ್ಸು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿ ಆಚೆಗಡೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರು ಆ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಫಾಲಜಿಕಲಿ ಯುನೀಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗು ಯುನೀಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ ಟು ದ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ದು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ತರ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಫುಲ್ ಡಿಟೋ ಕಾಪಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ದೇರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್, ಆ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್. Now, before we understand before we go into, let me tell you the key topics today. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು I told you human reproduction ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಏನು ಆಚೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೇಳೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಎಕ್ಸಸ್. In this chapter, in this session, I have not covered the secondary sexual characteristics. ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ, ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ, ಸರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಆರ್ ಯು ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಚೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಸ್? ಡು ನಾಟ್ ವರಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಾನು ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮೇಲ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷುವಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫೀಮೇಲ್, ಎರಡು ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳೋದು, ಸರಿನಾ? ಸೊ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ವರಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಟ್. ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ secondary sexual characteristics. We will be doing that process in a separate video altogether. But what is the focus here? The main focus here is going to be the male reproductive system, female reproductive system. Both will be studying in detail. Spermatogenesis, oogenesis, just one slide. Simple definition ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ, and when does it happen and how does it happen? Simple terms ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Then we'll be looking at the structure of the sperm here. In the case of your female, we will be learning the structure of your ovary. Then we will be learning about fertilization. Then we will also be learning what is parturition, what is lactation. All these concepts will be covered today. And also in the end of this video, we will be learning about reproductive health. What is reproductive health? What is so important of being reproductively healthy? What is reproductive health? What are the contraceptions? What do you mean by contraception? ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು contraception ದು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇವತ್ತು ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ. Right now, so let's start off with the male reproductive structure. So the male reproductive structure is divided into two types or two parts. First one is the primary structure. ಇದರ ಹಿಂಗಂದ್ರೆ primary ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅರ್ಥ primary. So it is divided into two types. Primary structure ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು or secondary structure ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. So it is divided into two types, primary or secondary structures. Now what are these primary structures? Primary structures are structures which are involved in gamete production. Gametes, there are sperm production. So the primary structures are the structures which are involved in what? Involved in gamete production. Example is testis. Testis is the example of primary structure. Now one more definition is there. Primary structures are all structures which are responsible for the hormone production. Not only just sperms, also hormone production. Hormone production. Clear? That is your primary structures. Trust me, ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನೇ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪನೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ please let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to solve any inquiries related to this chapter. So we learned about primary now. Primary ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Which are involved in the gamete production, such as your sperms. Also involved in what? Also involved in hormone production. Hormones, gametes. And the organ which is present, the common organ which is here in the case of male is testis. Testis is the organ which will produce hormones like your testosterone. Also produce the gametes. Such as your sperm produce ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ testosterone produce ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Clear? That is the primary structure. Now what is the secondary structure? What are the secondary structure? ಈ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ? ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋದ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್, ಸೊ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಈಸ್ ಯೋರ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಇನ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, supporting or transporting of sperm. That is the accessory ducts, glands and external genitalia come under the secondary structures. Pair of testis belong to primary structure. Why? Because testis provides what? Testis provides sperm as well as hormone. Example is testosterone. So that is the simple difference between primary and secondary organ. So they say located in the pelvic region. Pelvic region we have the pelvic bones. A pelvic bones lower abdominally pelvic bones. Pelvic bone madhyadalli irutte, the extra that is reproductive structure is present between the two pelvic bones. Includes a pair of testes, that is your primary sex organ, along with accessory ducts, glands and external genitalia. All the three are what? All the three are your secondary sex organs. Done? This is your testes, this is your duct, this is your gland, external genitalia. Clear? Aita? Now let's study about external genitalia. So let's study about your primary organ now. I told you primary sex organ is testis, right? The primary sex organ is this testis. So function in testis though. Testis has two functions. First function is production of sperms. Second function is production of hormones. Yeah, hormono testosterone. So testis is situated outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch-like structure called as scrotum. So testis is located where? Testis is located outside the abdominal cavity. It is held in what? It is held in a cup-like structure, sac-like structure known as scrotum. So testis can be found inside the scrotum. Very important to note. Why? What is the importance of this scrotum? This is a 2-mark question, 1-mark question, and also this can also be asked in a 5-mark question. Inna complete 5-mark kelala, but this can be one of the statements in 5-mark question. For example, even in sample paper ನೀವು video ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ explain ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Now one question ಇತ್ತು, what if the testis doesn't descend in the male child? If the testis doesn't descend, the testis cannot produce sperm. Why? Because testis need lesser temperature than the body to produce the sperm. Akasmat testis descend agilla andre, it will not have the cool temperature for the spermatogenesis. So there will be no sperm production. So scrotum function, scrotum though simple function. The function of scrotum is what? To maintain the temperature in the scrotal sac 2 to 2.5 degrees less than the body temperature. So scrotum function, it maintains the 2 to 5 degrees lesser in the case of your testis. So scrotum helps in decreasing the temperature keeping the temperature low in the testis, that is 2 to 2.5 degrees less than the body temperature in the kadme irutte. Why? To make the sperm development. Sperm development is also called as spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is also called as sperm development. See, scrotum is situated outside. This is the abdominal cavity. Scrotum is situated outside the abdominal cavity. Why? Because scrotum needs to decrease the temperature to maintain a temperature lower than the body temperature. So scrotum helps in maintaining the temperature of the testis lower than the body temperature. Clear? Next, testis is oval in shape. Okay, we'll say testis is oval in shape with length of around 4 to 5 centimeter. Length is around 4 to 5 centimeter. Width is around 2 to 3 centimeter. Width. Now, testicular lobules, very important term for your NEET level exam. This is your foundation which I was talking about. This foundation testicular lobules are compartments. Inside the testis. This testis is you have testicular lobules. Around 250 compartments of testicular lobules are present inside the testis. Now, each testicular lobule. How many testicular lobules are there? There are around 250 testicular lobules. Ready? One testis ಒಳಗಡೆ there are around at least ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಕಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕದು, ಈ ಕಲರ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಲರ್ ಪರ್ಪಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡದ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ each one is a testicular lobules. Inside the testis at least there are 250 testicular lobules. 250 testicular lobules are present inside the testis. Now each testicular lobules has seminiferous tubule. So each testicular lobule, inside the testicular lobule you have seminiferous tubule. It is a highly coiled structures. Present inside testicular lobules. So first is your testis. First point is your testis. testis. Inside the testis you have testicular lobule. Inside testis you have testis ಒಳಗಡೆ testicular lobules ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Inside the testicular lobules you have seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Now what is the function of seminiferous tubules? Seminiferous tubules are the site. Seminiferous tubules are the site for production of sperms. It is a site for production of sperms. So someone asks you at what exact location, exact location sperm produce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು? It is seminiferous tubules. So inside the seminiferous tubules sperms are generated or formed. Clear? It's not just testis. So inside testis you have testicular lobules. Testicular lobules ಒಳಗಡೆ you have seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules is the site for production of sperms. Clear? Clear? Now seminiferous tubules produce sperms. Kaltina vidna. Seminiferous tubules produce sperms. Kalti, done and dusted. Now each tubule is lined on inside by two type of cells. ಈ ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ lobule ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, your seminiferous tubule ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, seminiferous tubule ಒಳಗಡೆ there are two type of cells. First one is your germ cell, second one is Sertoli cell. First one is your germ cell, male germ cell, also called as spermatogonia and Sertoli cells. These Sertoli cells ideyala, they are also called as what? Nurse cells. They are also called as nurse cells. Function of Sertoli cells? Function of Sertoli cells is to provide nutrition to the spermatogonia or germ cell. Function of Sertoli cell also called as nurse cell. Function of Sertoli cell is to provide nutrition to the male germ cell. Now this is the same male germ cell. This is the same male germ cell which will develop further to become what? Sperm. So male germ cell becomes sperm cell, also known as what? It is also known as spermatogonia. Spermatogonia becomes what? It becomes sperms. The process of from this to this is called as what? Spermatogenesis. The process of spermatogonia to sperm, illinda illige agabeko. The entire process is called as what? Spermatogenesis. Artha aita? Inside the seminiferous tubule we have two type of cells. One is Sertoli cell, the second one is your germ cell. Male germ cell give rise to the sperm. Sertoli cell provides the nutrition. Now idu nimdu Sertoli cell aito. Ee seminiferous tubule ಒಳಗಡೆ Sertoli cells ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. You also have male germ cell ilde. But what about this area? Each one is your seminiferous tubule, right? Each one is your seminiferous tubule. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಜಾಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, between the two seminiferous tubules and everything, between the seminiferous tubules, ಈ ಜಾಗ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದು, this space, this middle space is called as what? Interstitial space. Now ಈ interstitial space ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, you have interstitial cell. So interstitial tissues ಅಲ್ಲಿ interstitial place ಅಂತ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Inside interstitial space ಒಳಗಡೆ you have what? Interstitial cells. ಈ cells ನಾವೆಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Leydig cells ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Leydig cells. So interstitial cells or Leydig cells are found in the interstitial space. So interstitial space are present outside the seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubule ಆಚೆಗಡೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು? We call it interstitial space, and in the interstitial space we have interstitial cells. The name of interstitial cell is Leydig cells. Now these Leydig cells are very important. Yakappa important appa idu? Because these are the Leydig cells which provide what? Provide the androgen. Androgen ideyala, androgen are produced, testosterone is produced by Leydig cells. Leydig cells produce the androgen or testosterone. Now simple question again. What based on what you just learned. Which of the following secretes the testosterone? Answer is obviously your Leydig cells. Leydig cells provide the testosterone. Sertoli cells provide nutrition. Sertoli cells provide what? Sertoli cells provide the nutrition to the growing sperm. Very easy. Now, primary sex organ aitu, done and dusted. We learned about primary sex organ. Two functions: formation of sperm and formation of hormone. Testis, then two function of testis, formation of sperm and formation of hormones. Hormones with the help of Leydig cells and sperm with the help of Sertoli cell and male germ cell. Clear? Now let's learn about ducts. So inside the testis and outside the testis, we have different types of ducts. In NCERT, they have only given vast difference. In NCERT, you have only given vast difference. But in fact, vast difference is the last duct. So the first duct. So whenever the seminiferous tubules ideyala, seminiferous tubule alli sperm produce agutte. Seminiferous tubule alli sperm produce agutte. The sperm is transported to. First anಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇದನ್ನು. Sperm from the seminiferous tubule is transported to ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ? Rete testis ಗೆ. So sperm ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ produce ಆಗಿರೋದು rete testis ಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ rete testis ಇಂದ ವಾಸ ಎಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಾಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಪಿಡೈಡಮಿಸ್ ಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 4 ಎಪಿಡೈಡಮಿಸ್ ಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಪಿಡೈಡಮಿಸ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ನೋಡಿ ಆಚೆ ಬಂದು it will be transported to vas differences. It will be transported now finally to the vas difference. That is the flow of sperm. It includes rete testis, ducts, ಬೇರೆ ducts, pipe ಇಂದ pipe ತರ. Rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas difference. Seminiferous tubules open into the vasa efferentia through rete testis. Clear? First ನಿಮಗೆ seminiferous tubule, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ rete testis, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas difference is the last duct. Now epididymis leads to ಈ ಲೈನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ NCERT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ but they never explain what exactly is the term. ಕಡೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇನ್ನ. So epididymis ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, epididymis leads to what? Epididymis leads to vas difference. So epididymis leads to vas difference that ascends over the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. This is your seminiferous tubule. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೋರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಸೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್. ಅಸೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಸೊ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಲೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್. ಇದು ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್. ಇದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿದ್ನಪ್ಪ ನಾನು? Epididymis that ascends to the abdomen. Ascends ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. Ascending to the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. ಅಲ್ಲಿ urinary bladder ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಲೂಪ್ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Receives a duct from seminal vesicle. Very important. ನೀ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ NCERT ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, but they have not explained it. ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, but they have told you. ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. That is seminal vesicle ಅಂತ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. That is it receives a duct from seminal vesicle. ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ನೋಡಿ seminal vesicle ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಈ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈ ಸೆಮಿನಲ್ ವೆಸಿಕಲ್ ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ವಾಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಲೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಯೂರಿನರಿ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ. ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲರ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾನಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದ. ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. That is vas difference. Seminal vesicle is the gland. Seminal vesicle is a gland here. Seminal vesicle ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಎರಡು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಆಚೆ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. And this common duct is called as what? Ejaculatory duct. This common duct is called as what? Ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct is a duct which is made up of seminal vesicle duct and vas difference. ಎರಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, and that is called ejaculatory duct. Very important. Now, it receives a duct from seminal vesicle opening into the urethra called as ejaculatory duct. Now, that is ejaculatory duct ಆಯ್ತು. Now, what about the external genitalia? In the case of the males, the external genitalia is called as penis, and in the case of females, it is called as vulva. Now, axillary glands ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ ಈಗ. First, primary 6 ವರ್ಗಣ ಆಯ್ತು. When we learned about ducts, different type of ducts ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Now, let's learn about different glands and what is the importance of these glands. ಯಾಕೆ glands ಬೇಕು? So the first gland which we will be talking about is, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ I mentioned the vas difference is looping over. Vas difference is ascending upwards. It is looping over urinary bladder and it is receiving a duct from seminal vesicle. So ಈ seminal vesicle ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು seminal vesicle ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಒಂದು ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. That is your vas difference. This is your vas difference. Vas difference is ascending upwards and coming here. seminal vesicle ಇಂದ ಒಂದು ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ತಾನೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಹಂಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಫೈನಲಿ when it comes here you have third gland, it's called as bulbourethral gland, also called as Cowper gland. Cowper gland ಇಂದ secretions ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಂಗೆ ಬಂದು ಆಚೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So what is the function of this glands? What is the use? ನೀವು ಹಾರ್ಮೋನಲ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಕಲ್ತ್ರಿ, we learned about endocrine gland. Endocrine gland ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ. What is the function of endocrine gland? The function of endocrine glands are to produce certain hormones. Function ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. Similarly, the function of all these three glands, the function of three glands, that is prostate, seminal vesicle and bulbourethral gland, is to produce, to secrete certain substances, and these substances will help in the sperm movement, nutrition ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, different process ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. So basically they help in fertilization. The secretions from these three glands, secretions they produce some kind of liquid. They produce some kind of liquid. So because of that liquid, which helps in fertilization. The male accessory glands are the pair of seminal vesicle. Pair ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಎರಡು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. A prostate single. Prostate is what? Prostate is single ಆಗಿದೆ, single ಒಂದೇ ಇದೆ. Prostate is single, and a pair of bulbourethral or Cowper gland. Bulbourethral, Cowper gland. ಎರಡು ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಎರಡು. Secretions, plasma rich in fructose. So whatever secretions, ಈ secretions ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, the secretions by your three glands, the secretions by the three glands is called as seminal plasma. Seminal plasma. Seminal plasma. Secretions of on liquid ತರ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Secretions of seminal vesicle, secretions of prostate gland, secretion of bulbourethral gland is called as what? Seminal plasma. Plus ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ? ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಇಂದ ಏನು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ? ಟೆಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Where in testis exactly? Seminiferous tubule. Seminiferous tubule ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ? Sperms are producing. The sperms are traveling now. Sperms are traveling upwards. Sperms are also coming here. So seminal plasma is the secretions of all the three glands plus sperm. Plus the sperm will make what? Will make the semen. So semen is what? Semen is made up of sperm plus seminal plasma. What is seminal plasma? Seminal plasma is the secretions of three different type of glands. Ya glands? Bulbourethral gland, seminal plasma, bulbourethral gland, prostate gland and seminal vesicle glands. Now, what is the importance of these glands? ಈ glands ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು secretions ಇರುತ್ತೆ which is helpful for the fertilization? It has the secretions. ಈ seminal plasma ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, seminal plasma is rich in fructose for source of energy. Sperm energy ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, sperm energy ಸಿಗೋದು fructose ಇಂದ. Calcium ಬೇಕು sperm ಗೆ ಆ motility-ಗೋಸ್ಕರ, sperm ಗೆ motility-ಗೋಸ್ಕರ calcium ಬೇಕು. And third one is certain enzymes ಕೂಡ present ಇರುತ್ತೆ in the seminal plasma. That is important. This is a NEET level question, NEET level PYQ, and also CBSE 10th board exam question. 10th board question. That is fructose, calcium and certain enzymes are part of your seminal plasma or secret plasma rich. Clear? That is a very important question. This question ತುಂಬಾ ಸತಿ 10th board ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. We all have also asked in your NEET examination, so please learn this. Okay? Come on, let's go to the next concept. ನೋಡಿ, the process of formation of sperm. ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? Okay, this is spermatogenesis. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Spermatogenesis, all you need to know is spermatogenesis is what? Spermatogenesis is the process. Spermatogenesis. Genesis ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Formation. Genesis ಅಂದ್ರೆ formation. Spermatogenesis ಅಂದ್ರೆ formation of sperm. The process of formation of sperm is called as what? Spermatogenesis. By immature male germ cell. ಈ male germ cell ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ? This male germ cell is present where? Inside the lining of seminiferous tubule along with Sertoli cell. So this male germ cell is present in the seminiferous tubule. Spermatogonia ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ, in the testis, begin at the puberty. Spermatogenesis start at the puberty. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಏನು? ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್. ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ increase in number. There is no division of genetic material. In the case of your mitosis, there is no division of genetic material, bari cell number increase ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is increase in number of diploid spermatogonia cell. Then finally meiosis ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. When meiosis takes place, we have primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, right? Formation of haploid spermatids from diploid spermatocyte. Finally spermiogenesis, that is conversion of spermatids to sperm. Formation of haploid sperm from spermatid. Spermatid na sperms process na spermiation antivi. So do not worry if you have any doubt on this. Trust me, if you have any doubt on spermatogenesis, please let me know in the comment section, because then I'll make a separate video on spermatogenesis versus oogenesis. Clear? Spermatogenesis versus oogenesis. Now, structure of sperm begin noಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋದಾ? Structure of sperm is made up of three parts. If you include neck, it is four. First is your head region, middle neck, middle piece, and finally the tail. Now head region is very important because it has two main functions. Two main functions appa head though. The head region will have the DNA. A genetic material is stored inside the head, and also the head key cap structure idiyala. Ee head though, ee part ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ part. This is called as acrosome. We call this acrosome. ಆಮೇಲೆ this part, head part ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬಾ enzymes ಇರುತ್ತೆ which help in fertilization. The enzymes which are filled here, it is filled with enzymes. This will help in fertilization. Now middle piece will have mitochondria. Middle piece will have what? Mitochondria. Middle piece will have what? Mitochondria. And this mitochondria will provide the energy. This mitochondria will provide the energy for the sperm to move. And movement is helped by the tail. That is whiplash like tail, which will help in the motility. Clear? And the entire body of the sperm is covered by what? Entire body of the sperm is covered by plasma membrane. You again mentioned the semen is what? Seminal plasma along with sperm constitute the semen altogether. Done. Simple question now. Energy for the sperm for the movement. Energy for the sperm for movement is obtained from mitochondria. Mitochondria is the energy house of the cell. It will provide energy for the movement of the sperm. Really awesome. So male reproductive system done and dusted. Trust me, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಆಚೆ ಏನು ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಕಲಿಯೋದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. The male reproductive system is done. Trust me, if you still have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. I will make a separate video on it, or I can come live on Telegram channel. You can talk to me. ನೀನು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು, and we can interact, and then I can clear any doubt of yours. Not just doubt for your 10th level, 9th level, ನಿಮ್ಮ 11th, 12th, degree, post graduation ಯಾರಾದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಣ್ಣ ಅಕ್ಕ ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ. ಸರಿನಾ? Done. So reproductive system, let's learn about female reproductive system now. Male reproductive system done and dusted. Here we'll learn about female reproductive system. Then we'll also learn about oogenesis. Oogenesis ಮತ್ತೆ female reproductive structure na now ಕಲಿಯೋದಾ ಈಗ. Ready? Come on friends. The female reproductive system. ನಾವಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂಚೆ ಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ 2 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 2 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Now there I mentioned testis is the primary sex organ. ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಾ? Why did I say testis is the primary sex organ? Why? The reason was testis produces. The testis will produce what? First sperms, second part is hormone. Similarly, in the case of female reproductive system, primary sex organ is ovaries. Why? Because ovaries produce what? Ovaries produce the ovum or the egg, that is your gamete. First point, same function. Sperm produce ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ovum produce ಆಗ್ತದೆ. That is both in the case of your primary sex organs. ಈ primary sex organs ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, primary sex organs will always produce the gamete and hormone. So here ovaries will also produce what? Estrogen and progesterone. Now what about secondary sex organs? Secondary sex organs ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? We have oviduct, also called as fallopian tube. Uterus, cervix and external genitalia are part of secondary sex organ. Nodi illi, this is your ovary, pair of ovaries, which are the primary sex organs. Then you have vagina, uterus, fallopian tube. This is your cervix, cervical canal, right? All these three are what? They are what? This and this are or what? All of these are secondary sex organs. Now, clear? Let's learn about ovaries now. What is the function of ovaries? Main function of ovaries, 2 functions. First function is production of gametes, that is your egg. Second function is production of the hormone, right? Which is the testosterone and estrogen. Ovaries, the primary female sex organ. The primary sex organs in the females is ovaries. In the case of males, it is testes. So primary sex organs in females are located on each side of the lower abdomen. Again, lower abdomen has what? Lower abdomen has the pelvic bone. Between the two pelvic bones, the female reproductive system is situated. All present irutte. Sarina? The ovum produced function. First function first function production of ovum. Second function steroidal ovarian hormones, such as what? Second function steroidal ovulation hormones. Example is estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen and what? Progesterone. That is the ovaries. Now let's learn about axillary ducts now. Male we learned about vas efferens, epididymis, we learned about vasa efferentia, rete testis. In the case of females, we have fallopian tube, also called as what? Also called as oviduct. Uterus, which is also called as what? Womb. And birth canal. Birth canal is made up of what? Birth canal is made up of vagina plus cervix. Clear? Now, fallopian tube. First and most important, let's learn about the structure of fallopian tube, because they can ask you which is the location of fertilization. If fertilization event is where does this take place? The answer is oviduct. Specifically, the ampulla region of oviduct. Ampulla region is ampulla region. This is the region where fertilization takes place. Ampulla region. This is your infundibulum region. This is the ampulla. This is isthmus. In the case of your ampulla region, wide part, ampulla region, and then you have infundibulum, the narrow part. Again, isthmus region, one more narrow part. Now, infundibulum has what? Infundibulum has something called as fimbriae. Infundibulum fimbriae. Now, what is the function of fimbriae? Now, this is ovary. Ovary produces ovum. The ovum release aguttalla. This release agiro ovum na catch hidiyutte. Yaad catch hidiyutte? Fimbriae. Fimbriae will catch the released ovum and transfer it to ampulla region. Fimbriae madutte ovum na catch madutte, and it is taken up by what? It is taken up by infundibulum, and travel agutte ovum catch ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ travel ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ovum ಇಲ್ಲಿ travel ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So if the ovum travels here, and the sperm also travels here, the fertilization takes place in the ampulla region. Fertilization takes place where? In the ampulla region. It consists of 4 parts: isthmus, ampulla, infundibulum, and fimbriae. Fimbriae helps in collection of ovum after ovulation. Very important, very easy. But tumba easy concept is idu. Very easy concept. I am teaching you very basics, also at advanced concepts. Inside bardila, fimbriae la bardila, but I want you to understand all this. Now, uterus is also called as the womb. Idu inverted pear-like structure. Idu ee part. Inverted pear-like structure is called as what? Uterus. It is inverted pear-like shape, supported by ligaments. Illi ella ligaments irutte idikke. Uterine ligaments irutte. Ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. Now, function of uterus also is called as the womb, which supports the childbirth. Now, let's learn about birth canal. So this is your uterus. Illi in vagina matte cervical canal irutte. So uterus open into vagina. Through cervix, through a narrow cervix. So this is your cervix. So cervix is a gap between. Cervix is a bridge between vagina and what? Uterus. Vagina and uterus madhyale enirutte? Cervix irutte. So cervix plus cavity of cervix is called as cervical canal, which along with vagina. So cervical canal plus vagina is called as what? Birth canal. Why birth canal? Because that is the location where, that is the exact place where the birth of the child is happening. Clear? Now, let's learn about the uterus walls now. Walls of the uterus, very important for menstruation. Menstruation ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ you need to understand the different layers of your uterus. Very important. Listen very carefully. So uterus is made up of 3 main layers. Uterus ಇತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಇದು, I told you this entire thing is uterus. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, this entire thing here, this entire thing is called as what? Uterus. This is your cervical canal, this is your cervix, this is your vagina, this is cervix, cervical canal. But this entire thing is called as what? Uterus. Inverted pair. ನೋಡಿ ಈ ಶೇಪ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು. Inverted pair. Pair ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, So inverted pair. It has three main layers. The outer layer here, outer layer is called as what? Perimetrium. Right? Outermost layer. The middle layer is called as myometrium. Middle layer is called as what? Myometrium. This myometrium it is made up of smooth muscle cells. Myometrium is made up of smooth muscle cells, and this is the same myometrium which contracts during the childbirth. In childbirth myometrium starts to contract, increasing the cavity for the child to be born. That is myometrium. Then finally, the innermost layer is called as what? Endometrium. Endometrium is made up of what? Spongy tissue, which is very secretory in structure. Now, inside layer is called as what? Endometrium. Clear? Now, let's learn about fertilization. Then I'll talk about menstruation in one single slide. I'll tell you how endometrium plays a role in the menstruation and everything. Now, oogenesis. Let's learn about oogenesis. Oogenesis, spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is what? Formation of sperm. Oogenesis is formation of ovum. Oogenesis is what? Formation of ovum. Process of formation of mature female gamete, which is also called ovum. It takes place in the ovary. Where does it take place? In the ovary. But when does it start? When does it start? Very important question, a NEET level question, a board question. Most important information which I want you to know. That oogenesis start at the embryonic stage. Yavar start agutte? Embryonic stage agutte. Bradil vaile, oogenesis start at embryonic stage. Before the birth of the female child, female child born agilla. Before the birth of the female child, born agina munchene oogenesis enagutte start agudutte. But in the case of males, in the case of your boys spermatogenesis start at puberty. But in the case of females, oogenesis start at embryonic stage. When the embryo is there, birth agilla, a fetus bandilla. Embryonic stage alle oogenesis start agutte. But it stops at the prophase 1 at a diploidine stage. Stop agudutte. Then again it finishes puberty bandadmele complete agutte. Then it again starts meiosis 2. It stop agutte. Metaphase alli ಮತ್ತೆ stop agutte. Yavag finish agutte? Fertilization time alli metaphase 2 complete agi secondary oocyte as well as ovum as well as second polar body produce agutte. But that is not in your syllabus. Don't worry about that. But all you need to do is oogenesis is what? Oogenesis is formation of mature male gametes. When does it start? It starts at embryonic stage. Involves formation of and release of mature oocyte and their maturation of ovum. This is the structure inside the ovary. Inside the ovary, you have a structure like this. This is called as the primary follicle, right? Sorry, primary oocyte is also surrounded by granulosa cells. It's called as primary follicle. Secondary follicle, tertiary follicle. Why? Because of the fluid-filled antrium. Tertiary follicle. Then you have quaternary follicle, Graafian follicle. Then we have Graafian follicle ruptures open, releases the ovum, also called as secondary oocyte. This becomes corpus luteum. Corpus luteum produces progesterone. Progesterone. So don't worry about this. Just know the oogenesis is what? Oogenesis is the formation of male, mature female gamete takes place in the ovaries. Oogenesis takes place in the ovaries and starts at the embryonic stage. Fertilization aito? Female reproduction aito. Now let's learn about fertilization. Fertilization, how does the fertilization actually takes place? And what are the events of fertilization? What are the different events takes place? Let's learn it quickly. See, nodi, naviga ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ detail explain ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. Later on I'll tell you what exactly in NCERT. Don't worry. Sir, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ sir, you have to going out of NCERT so much. Why? Because this is for your own good. Later on I'll take again. So probably after December time ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ತೋತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ನಿಮ್ಮ end board exams ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, then I'll start taking again. But ಆ time ಅಲ್ಲಿ it's going to be strictly NCERT later on. So now all this I won't teach that time. Because ಅವಾಗ board exam important ಇಲ್ಲ. But right now it is important because you have time now for your end sem exam. End sem exam ಆಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ time ಇದೆ. So ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಈಗ. But exam ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾ only NCERT because I want you to score really high in your board exams. So board exam ತಕ್ಕಂಗೆ ನಾವು classes ಮಾಡೋಣ ಆಮೇಲೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? Now fertilization means what? Fusion of sperm with the ovum. Simple. Fertilization is what? Fusion of sperm with the ovum which results in the formation of zygote produce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is in humans fertilization occurs in the ampulla region. ಹೇಳಿದಲಾಗಲೇ fertilization takes place in the ampulla region of your oviduct of the fallopian tube. Steps involved in the fertilization, that is insemination, is release of sperm, upward movement of the sperm along the uterus, arrival of the secondary oocyte will travel up ಬರುತ್ತೆ fallopian tube ಅಲ್ಲಿ, acrosomal activity ಬೇಡ ಬಿಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ, then sperm entry and finally the fusion takes place. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ insemination, sperm is moving, sperm move ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, sperm is moving here, the egg cell is also liberated from, egg cell is ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ egg cell ಇಂದ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, egg cell ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ, egg cell also comes here and this is your ampulla region. ಈ region ಅಲ್ಲಿ sperm also comes and your egg cell is also present. When both are present together, when your egg cell and sperm are present together, it leads to fertilization ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ fertilization ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. How does ಈ ತರ ನೋಡುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, fertilization ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು sperm ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ it blocks the entry. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು sperm ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಒಂದು sperm ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ಲಾಕೇಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ blockage ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So no more sperm can enter inside. During fertilization, sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida layer of the ovum. Ovumdu zona pellucida layer ಇರುತ್ತೆ. As soon as sperm comes in contact, head release ಒಳಗಡೆ, rest of the sperm cannot enter inside now. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ secondary oocyte, sperm, head ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು, fusion of two haploid gametes, ಎರಡು haploid ನೆನಪಿರಲಿ, ಎರಡು ಎಂಡಿಯನ್ haploid, completion of meiosis 2 in the oocyte, diploid zygote produce ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This diploid zygote undergoes now cleavage ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Cleavage means what? Division. It results in the formation of embryo. So zygote will become now what? Zygote will become embryo later on. ಇಲ್ಲಿ the site for fertilization in humans is what? Site for fertilization is oviduct. Specifically is the ampulla region. Ampulla region. Now implantation, very important. Now implantation ಅಪ್ಪ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ fertilization ಆಯ್ತು, zygote ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ fertilization ಆಯ್ತು, zygote ಇದೆ. ಈ zygote ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, starts to divide, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೈಟೋಸಿಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಫುಲ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, zygote is what? Zygote is single celled. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ zygote is diploid, it is 2n, it is single celled. Your zygote is single celled, but it undergoes what? Undergoes division, cell division ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, cell divide ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಫೈನಲಿ ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ವಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕವರ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ವಾಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ವಾಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. This is your cleavage of zygote, single zygote, cell division ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ zygote. ಈ cell division 4 cells, 16 cells we call it blastomeres. This is called as morula. ಆಮೇಲೆ blastocyst ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, blastocyst later becomes blastocyst, not important for you. Finally ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ blastocyst implant ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ವಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಎಂಗಲ್ಫ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಫುಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಿ. Pregnancy, finally. So we learned about fertilization ಆಯ್ತು, implantation ಆಯ್ತು. Next topic is pregnancy. Duration of pregnancy in human beings is 9 months, 9 ತಿಂಗಳು, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು. This period is called as what? Gestation period. Very important. What is gestation period? Gestation period is the time of pregnancy. Pregnancy ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, the entire process of fertilization in the implantation in the the birth of the child ವರ್ಗೂ is called as gestation period. Finally, pregnancy we have one more structure which you need to know. It's also important for your 10th board exam. Very critical. This is a placenta structure of placenta, important for your 10th board exam. 10th board exam they'll ask you, what is the function of placenta? What happens if the placenta is not fixed properly? Direct keltarange. What is the function of placenta? Function of placenta is what? It forms a bridge between what? Mother and the child. Mother idya, mother womb idu, womb ಒಳಗಡೆ child ಬೆಳೀತಿದೆ. This is here, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟಾ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದು ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟಾ is attached to the baby with the help of umbilical cord. ನೋಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಿಪ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, that is umbilical cord. Umbilical cord is connected between the child and the placenta. So importance function of placenta very important. ಈಗ ಮಗು ಊಟ ಬೇಕು, ಮಗುಗೆ ಊಟ ಬೇಕು, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಊಟ ಮಗುಗೆ? ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಹೌ ಡಸ್ ದ ಫೀಟಸ್ ಈಟ್? ಹೌ ಡಸ್ ದ ಬೇಬಿ ಇಸ್ ಈಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಫುಡ್? ದ ಫುಡ್ ದ ಮದರ್, ಈಗ ಅಮ್ಮ ತಿಂತಾರೆ ಊಟ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅಮ್ಮ ತಿಂತಾರೆ ಊಟನೇ ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟಾಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟಾ ಇಂದ ಬೇಬಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಬೇಬಿಗೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕೆನ್ ಬ್ರೀತ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈಡ್? ಬ್ರೀತ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರೀತ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಇಫ್ ದ ಮದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ರೀತಿಂಗ್, ದ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಮದರ್ ಬ್ರೀತ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಟು ದ ಬೇಬಿ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟಾ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ? ದ ಬೇಬಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. ನಾವು ಬೇಬಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. ಈ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಆಚೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ದ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಸೆಂಟಾ, ಗೋಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ placenta. 3 important points, very important in board exam ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. Now one more extra information here is, the extra information here is what? The extra information I'm talking about is placenta is a endocrine, acts as an endocrine gland. It acts as a endocrine gland, and placenta produces what? Placenta produces hormones. Placenta produces hormones, and these hormones are produced only during the pregnancy. Very important. Very important. Placenta ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, and these hormones are what? Present only during the pregnancy. Clear? Finally we have parturition. Parturition means ಅಂದ್ರೆ parturition ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Parturition means delivery of the baby. Baby delivery ಆಗೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Parturition. Parturition is what? Parturition is delivery of baby. Act of expelling a full-term child from the mother's uterus. Uterus ಇಂದ child birth na ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ? Parturition. Lactation. Finally, now after the childbirth, once childbirth ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, mother needs to breastfeed the child. A breastfeed child na ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ we call it lactation. That is, mother starts to lactate or produce milk from the following birth of the baby. And the first form milk is very important very important for the growing baby. And of the first form milk is called as colostrum, which is the yellowish in color, and it is rich in antibodies. It is rich in antibodies. Example, IgA ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, IgM ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, IgG ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. It is very rich in antibodies, and it is very suggested by the doctors that mother should breastfeed the child during the starting stages. Clear? Very important. Now, what happens if the fertilization doesn't take place? Now fertilization ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Now, what if fertilization event ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ? Then what will happen if the fertilization doesn't take place? If fertilization doesn't take place, right? If the fertilization doesn't take place, the endometrium lining ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, which is preparing for implantation ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ implantation ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, the endometrium layer of the uterus will rupture. It will come out through the uterus, and we call it menstruation. That is the fate of the secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte produce ಆಗಿದೆ ಈಗ, and ovum therefore depends upon the whether or not fertilization is taking place. Life cycle of this ovum constitutes the menstrual cycle. ಈ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ fertilization ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, the secondary oocyte along with the blood and along with the tissues and along with the mucus, everything comes out through the vagina during the menstruation, which lasts up to around 5 to 8 days. It lasts up to 5 to 8 days. Now, this is the different phases in menstrual cycle. Menstrual cycle ಅಲ್ಲಿ different phases ಇರುತ್ತೆ. First phase is called as what? Follicular phase, where follicles are developing. 14th day is called as ovulation, where ovule is released, and finally we have the luteal phase. Luteal phase ಅಲ್ಲಿ maintaining of the endometrium ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Maintaining of endometrium layer by production of progesterone, estrogen production ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. We have the production of LH, we have production of FSH. Right? FSH will act on your follicles, LH will act on the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum produces progesterone acts on the endometrium layer. Very important. Finally, contraception. So, what is contraception? Seption andre eno? Seption, meaning of seption is conceiving. Seption andre eno? Conception andre eno? Act of being pregnant. We call it conception. What is contra and against the conception is called as contraception. Against the seption is called as what? Contraception. Methods that aim to prevent the conception of an offspring and the child achieved by the range of tools and procedures, and call it contraceptive methods. contraceptive methods. So what is the ideal contraceptive method? What do you mean by ideal, best contraceptive method? Contraceptive method should be user friendly, it should be reversible, it should be effective, easily available, and it should have least side effects. So based on the contraceptive, we have multiple types. First one is your temporary birth controls, we have permanent. Temporarily we have the natural methods such as lactational amenorrhea, syllabus so don't worry. We have lactational amenorrhea, coitus interruptus, and also called abstinence method. That is your natural methods. Then you have barrier methods, which includes condoms and diaphragms and cervical caps and vertex. Then we have the chemical methods, which includes pills. Chemical methods will include pills, IUDs. Chemical methods will include IUDs. IUD such as your copper releasing IUD, hormone releasing IUD, non-medicated IUD such as Lippies loop. Then you have contraceptive pills which are made up of what? Hormones such as your progesterone and estrogen. Then we have surgical methods such as vasectomy and tubectomy. Productive sheet, barrier method in method the ovum and sperm are prevented from physical meeting with the help of barrier such as a condom. Condom will prevent the meeting of sperm and ovum. Protective sheet, diaphragms is there, your cervical caps and vaults. That is the barrier method. Then we have what? IUDs. Very important because this is the most preferred IUD in the India. That is IUD, intrauterine device. It is a device which is inserted. It is a device which is inserted inside the uterus. Insert martivi. That is physical device that are inserted into the uterus of a womb in order to prevent fertilization. Very important is the types. Non-medicated IUDs is there. Example is Lippies loop. Lippies loop phagocytosis. It will kill the sperm. Phagocytosis kill the sperm. Then you have copper releasing IUDs such as your copper T, copper 7, multi-node T75. Function, how do they function? They will slow the movement of sperm and also decrease the effectiveness of the sperm. Then you have hormone releasing IUDs such as your progesterase and LNG20. They will make the uterus unsuitable. They will make what? Suitable uterus completely hostile so that sperm cannot survive there. That is your contraceptive. Then finally we have the oral contraceptive. Oral contraceptive is basically a pill which is also called as morning after pill eye pill but oral contraceptive is basically a mix of progesterone and estrogen mix. That is oral contraceptive. Oral administration of small dosage of either progesterone or progesterone estrogen combination. Finally, we have the surgical methods, complete permanent method, but it is reversible. That is your surgical methods. That is, in the case of your males, we have tubectomy. So, in the case of males, we have vasectomy, where vast difference cut and attach. If vast difference is cut and tied up, is sperm. I told you. Sperms are produced where? Sperms are produced inside the testis. If got testis sperm produced then sperm has to travel. It has to travel through vast difference. Can the sperm transfer? Obviously not. If the sperm cannot transfer, it means the semen only. In the semen, there will be no sperms. One important question which everyone asks me is, sir, if vasectomy for example, a man is undergoing vasectomy, will he still produce sperms? Yes, he will produce sperms. But will the sperms be present in the semen? Absolutely not. But will he produce semen? He will produce semen. Semen will be produced, sperm will be produced. But the sperm will not be present inside. A sperm will not be present inside the semen. I hope that is clear. In the case of females, the fallopian tube is fallopian tube cut attached. So whatever ovary which is developing here, which is supposed to travel here, will not travel, which will be stopped here. For question, sir, if a female has undergone tubectomy, will she have menstruation? She will have menstruation. Will she produce egg? She will produce egg. Clear? That is surgical methods, tubectomy and vasectomy. Finally, we have the infertility. Infertility is what? Unable of the produce children in spite of unprotected sexual collaboration. cohabitation. So sometimes what happens, low sperm count irutte, female the uterus sari iralla, there are many reasons because of infertility. To combat, to make sure you overcome infertility, the couple has to overcome infertility. We have different type of assisted reproductive technologies. We have zygote, gift, zift, artificial insemination. We also have gamete, cytoplasmic injection, surrogate mother. ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ವರಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಟ್, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟುಡೇ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು, ನಾನು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ. ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ 3 hours ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸಚ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೀವು ಅನ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ, but I have told you the aim here is for you to be ready for 11th and 12th also. A foundation level ready ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಈಗಿಂದಾನೆ. So all these topics which I am teaching you is from your 11th and 12th syllabus ಇಂದ ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. Do not worry, pick up, learn new things. Learning is always good, but don't worry. ಕೆಲವು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಬರೀ 11th 12th ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್? ಬಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರಿ, ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ನ, ಒನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇನ್ ದಟ್ 1 hour ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. 1 hourಲಿ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ನ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಾ. Do not worry, by the end of this hatra ಬರ್ತಾ I will complete the entire syllabus in 1 hour or 2 hours one chapter na. That time it will be purely NCERT ಆಮೇಲೆ. But for now it's going to be in detail. I'll be explaining in detail, complete ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. So I want you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you do not want to miss any of my videos, because it's going to be very